Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
I think we should start. Uh, we are discussing problem decomposition in Unit 5. Today we are going to discuss last topic in problem decomposition, that is related with rule-based systems. So first we will see what are rule-based systems, and then second part of this topic will be specifically on one matching algorithm, very efficient matching algorithm called as RETE, R-E-T-E. So today we will be finishing Unit 5. Uh, in Unit 5, you will find out so far whatever techniques we have discussed, that is problem solving techniques, specifically search techniques. This rule based systems are little bit different. This topic is specifically related with AI systems which are called as expert systems. So first we will find out what are these expert systems and what is the role of rule based systems, how rule based systems are related with expert systems, then how this is related with problem decomposition, and then importance of matching process in these rule based systems, and then finally we will see how one of the very popular algorithm called as RETE algorithm works. So let us start with what are rule based systems. Before going further, do you have any question related with whatever we have discussed in last class? Otherwise we can continue further. If there is any query regarding EOSTAR algorithm, first we will discuss that and then we will move further. Any difficulty in EOSTAR algorithm? So since nobody is replying, I assume that there is no difficulty. So let us first understand what are rule based systems. Now as the name suggests, rule based systems incorporate set of rules which constitute their knowledge base. So you will find out these rule based systems are also called as production systems. You might have come across this word earlier, but the production system we are talking about in AI, these production systems are basically rule based systems where we have set of rules which constitute a knowledge base that will be defined in the form of productions, which will have left hand side and right hand side. We will see that afterwards. They are also called as expert systems. We know that, or if you do not know, I will just go through what it is. Expert systems are also AI systems, but they work in specific domain only. So these expert systems are domain specific. Expert systems are domain specific systems. Now what is the difference between other AI systems and expert systems? Basically expert systems are also AI systems, but these systems are developed for specific domain. For example, you will find out there are expert systems which are developed for helping in mineral exploration from the earth core, or we have expert systems, popular expert systems related with diagnosis. For example, mycin kind of expert system, remycin, which is used for diagnosis of blood related diseases. So you will find out These systems specifically they are developed for only that particular application domain. So same system cannot work if you use that for other domain. So they are not generic systems. Since they help expert or domain expert, therefore we call them expert systems. For example, medical diagnosis systems they help medical experts, for example doctors. Therefore we call them expert systems. They may not be replacing human experts completely, but they help human experts for but generally AI systems is a general purpose system. So constitution of knowledge base in expert system, that is a domain specific knowledge base. So right now we are more interested in knowledge base which is developed or which is manipulated, which is used for or in development of that particular system. So rule based system means production systems or expert systems. Expert systems are developed for specific expertise domain, and therefore this rule based systems uses rules for representing their knowledge, which is coded into the system by using some knowledge representation mechanism. Instead of representing knowledge in declarative static way, these rule based systems represent knowledge in terms of set of rules, which will tell you what to do and what to conclude in different situations. Now, to understand this, let us understand what is a knowledge. We have seen that knowledge is heart of any AI system. Knowledge makes your system intelligent. So this knowledge has to be incorporated into the system. Then question comes, how that knowledge should be collected, how it should be represented, and how that knowledge will be used in the system. So knowledge can be collected, we know, from the specific domain knowledge, world knowledge related with that particular application. From experts also you can collect the knowledge. Then comes representation of this knowledge. So you will find out this knowledge has to be represented in a form which computer will understand. We know that computer understands the language of zeros and ones at the lower level. So the knowledge that we are going to incorporate into the system should have the representation which will be suitable for your computer. So we have different knowledge representation techniques. At the lower level, all these techniques will represent knowledge in the form of zeros and ones. But for our purpose, we represent that knowledge at some higher levels, like semantic networks, association networks, frames, or basic technique. Knowledge representation technique is your predicate logic, which is a 0-1 logic. So these are different examples of knowledge representation schemes. So suitable knowledge representation technique or mechanism you will have to use in AI system. Then comes how to use that knowledge. We have seen that system may have a lot of knowledge, but AI system is not able to use that knowledge accurately, appropriate knowledge at appropriate time, then system will not be intelligent system. So it's a very important requirement of any AI system that it should have knowledge and it should have ability to use that knowledge at the appropriate time. You will find out in most of the expert systems, domain specific AI systems, this knowledge is represented in the form of rules. So therefore we are saying that set of rules. And this rules tells you when that rule has to be used or in which situation that rule will be used in execution. Such a knowledge is called as procedural knowledge. So you will find out two types of knowledge in discuss in literature. One is knowledge that can be declarative, or this knowledge can be procedural. Now what is the difference between these two? Declarative knowledge, basically you can visualize logical assertions as declarative knowledge. This type of representation doesn't tell you when that particular assertion has to be used in the execution of your knowledge base. For example, I can have knowledge something like this: man, Ram, man, Sham, then I can have another assertion: person, Aryan, like this. Now what are these representations? Actually these are predicates. This first statement is representing Ram is a man, second statement is representing Sham is a man, and third statement is representing Aryan is a person. These are declarative statements. All these three are declarative statements in natural language. In predicate logic, we are going to discuss that afterwards. You can represent that in mathematical foundations first course we have already discussed. So we can represent these statements in natural language in the form of predicates. So such a representation is called as declarative representation. So this type of representation doesn't tell you when this assertions has to be used. So such a knowledge is called as declarative knowledge. So in declarative representation we will find out that knowledge is represented in this way, but the use to which that knowledge has to be put in is not given. That means when I should use man Ram, person Aryan, that is not given. So that kind of representation is called as declarative representation. Unlike this, second type of knowledge representation that you can have, that is procedural representation. This second one. In procedural representation, now you can make out knowledge will be there, and along with that, that will tell you that when that particular knowledge or rule will be used. So basically set of rules, if you have, that you can make out, that is a procedural knowledge. Okay. So declarative means you will have logical statements represented, but there will be no control mechanism which will tell you when those logical representations has to be used. In procedural representation, you will have set of rules which will tell you when that particular rule will be fired or that rule will be used. Okay. Now try to understand this in more detail. A rule-based system is a way of encoding experts' knowledge in a fairly narrow area into an automated system. So what is a rule-based system? Rule-based system is a system where you will have experts' knowledge stored. It will be automated system where experts' knowledge will be stored. That means human experts' knowledge will be stored. So computer does not understand natural language, therefore you will have to encode it into the computer understandable form. So that means you will have to convert it into the form which computer will understand. So we'll see what is that form. So rule-based system can simply be created by using set of assertions and set of rules. In declarative knowledge we have only assertions, but in rule-based system you will have rules. Those rules will specify how to act on those assertions set. Okay. Rules therefore are expressed as a set of if-then statements. So for this purpose, how those rules are represented? Those rules are expressed in the form of if-then statement. We are familiar with such statements. These if-then rules are also called as production rules. For example, I can have a rule if P then Q, right? In the predicate logic, we have seen that this is represented as P implies Q. In natural language, we say that if P then Q, right? So, if your natural language statement is something like this, then you are going to represent that in mathematical form, computer representable in this particular. Such a rules are called as production rules. Why we call them production rules? Because they look like productions in the formal language or formal languages. In formal languages we have seen, we define a production like alpha produces beta. So on the left hand side we have antecedent, and on the right hand side we have descendant. So if alpha, then you can replace that with beta. If alpha produces beta, if this is the rule, so we call this as a production, right? So this word is derived from that. This is called as production in formal languages. So same term has been derived, therefore we call them production rules in AI. And the system which uses such a rules in representing its knowledge is called as production system. So production system means what? It is a AI system which has knowledge in the form of production rules. Production rules, they have form like if, then, or if some conditions which has to be satisfied, then, result of that will be Q. Right? Understood up to this point?
Yes, sir.
I am trying to connect this to the algorithm that we are going to discuss, because little bit switch we have made today from the topic which we were discussed earlier. So right now we are discussing AI systems, specifically expert systems, which uses rules for representing its knowledge. That knowledge, we have seen that in general knowledge is of the form, either it is declarative or procedural. Declarative knowledge will be a set of assertions only, where system will not have any idea where those assertions will be used. But second type of representation we have, that is procedural representation, where you will have assertions as well as uh, representation will tell you, that means rules that will tell you when that assertion has to be used. Therefore, rule-based system consists of set of if-then type of rules, that means production rules, set of facts, and some interpreter controlling application of these rules by using given facts. So some control mechanism is required. You will find out this idea of expert system is to use this knowledge from an expert system to encode it into the set of rules. When exposed to the same data, the expert system will perform in the similar manner to the expert. That means it will behave as that of human experts. Okay. So these rule-based systems are very simple models, and that can be adapted and applied for large kind of problems. Although the mechanism is simple, but very complex problems where we have huge knowledge base, these rule-based systems, they can be efficiently used. The requirement is that the knowledge on the system problem area can be expressed in the form of production rules or if-then rules. The area should also not be that large, because higher number of rules can make the problem solver inefficient. In expert systems, you will find out there are thousands of rules, and execution of those rules is controlled by some control mechanism. At a particular time, you will find out multiple rules become applicable. I will tell you how those systems work to understand this fact. And to select appropriate matching rules, you need a mechanism. And basically, we are interested in that mechanism. So although the system is large, uh, you can divide it into the parts and make your execution more efficient. Let us move further. Now, what are the different constituents of these rule-based systems? So, rule-based systems, they have a set of facts. Now, what is a fact? Fact is basically, fact is a real world truth. Real world truth. Real world truth is called as fact. These facts are actually the assertions. For example, we have seen assertion man Ram. This is an assertion. So what is meaning of this? That Ram is a man. So this is a fact. This is a truth, right? So these assertions should be anything relevant to the beginning state of the system. So that will be the initial knowledge of the system. For example, go back. Man Ram, man Sham, person Aryan. If suppose these assertions are stored in knowledge based systems, expert system initially, so you can say that these are the facts, and then later on you can manipulate those for answering some query. This set of facts, they are used for defining set of rules. Now what are rules? Rules, they are of type productions, which will have left hand side and right hand side. So this rule contains all actions that should be taken within the scope of problem. A rule relates the facts in the if part to some action in the then part. For example, if P then Q. Now left hand side is this. Same thing mathematically we can write in this way. If P then Q. So whatever we write in the left hand side, so this is a fact that if P is true, that implies that Q is also true. So the rule relates the fact in the if part to some action. So this is a fact and this is the action that will be performed if P is true. The system should contain only relevant rules, and it should avoid irrelevant one, because number of rules in the system will affect its performance. Because as I told you, there are thousands of rules in the actual expert systems, practical systems. So every time you will have to perform matching with those thousands of rules. So you'll find out 90% of the time of any system that is consumed in this matching process. Again, I am repeating, it's an important sentence, that 90% of systems time, AI system time, specifically expert system times, that is consumed in matching process of these rules. So what kind of matching has to be performed? Left hand side of the rules. For example, you can have another rule. We are just simplifying the work. If yes, then R. If yes, then T. Now both these rules, they have left hand side same. That if yes, action performed will be R, as well as it can be T also. So there are, or there might be many rules where you will find out left hand side matches. But actually in actual expert systems you will find out you will have around 20 to 25 facts on the left hand side. For simplicity we are just assuming one. So we have many conditions which has to be satisfied, which you are going to write on the left hand side of the row. For example, if P, Q, R, S like this, then or then B, perform some action B. So on the left hand side there will be many conditions which has to be satisfied to perform certain action. So very efficient mechanism we need to perform this matching process. Ultimately we are interested in that efficient matching algorithm. So therefore we are saying that relevant rules only must be included into the system. Otherwise, performance of the system will deteriorate. Then, third important component of any rule-based system will be termination criteria. So, this criteria will tell you that solution you have reached to the solution, or there is no possibility of getting the solution. Now, why this is important? Otherwise, your expert system or AI system will be in infinite loop in performing matching process, and it will never able to return the result, either some action that has to be performed, or result might be the failure, that no action can be performed in that particular situation. So whatever may be the result, but system might go into an infinite loop in this matching process. So rule-based system must have specified termination criteria. So that will tell you if you when you will reach to the goal, or if there is a failure. Okay. So these are the basic components of any rule-based system. We have set of facts, that means assertions, set of rules of the form if then form, and some termination criteria. Okay. Any question up to this?
No, sir.
So what again we will revise what we have discussed so far. We have started with rule-based systems. What are rule-based systems? Rule-based systems are production systems, AI systems, where knowledge base is represented in the form of rules, which uses procedural knowledge rather than declarative knowledge. Procedural knowledge uh, tells you when that particular rule has to be applied. So control information is incorporated in the rules itself. So such a systems are called as production systems or expert systems, rule-based systems. These rule-based systems have three basic components: set of facts, that means real world truth, initial knowledge that system will have. So those facts will be used for defining rules. Rules will have form, if then form, left side, right side. Left side defines set of conditions that has to be satisfied to perform an action which is satisfied, which is given on the right hand side, that is after then. For example, come to this rule, if P then Q. So if P is true, then perform action Q, something like this. And third requirement of any rule based system is it will have termination criteria. Otherwise it might go into an infinite loop. Now let us come to the rules. Right now we are more interested in this in connection with matching. So as we have seen, this rule consists of two parts, if part and then part. If part is called as antecedent of the rule, or we also call that as a premise or condition, and then part is called as consequent of the rule, or sometimes you also find out that is called as conclusion, or we are saying right now action. Okay. So if, for example, your rule can be if we have antecedent here, then the action that will be performed, that is consequent. Consider this rule, consider this example. If the season is enter, The condition is the season is winter, then it is cold. This is a simple rule. Practically you will find out that rule will have multiple antecedents which are joined by logical connectives. Now what are logical connectives? Already we have discussed that in our earlier course, mathematical foundation, and or, right? So antecedents, that means facts, they are connected by using logical connectives, and on the right hand side after then part you are going to specify the action that has to be performed. Consider this example. Example 1, if the season is winter, so this is the first fact, and this is connective. The temperature is less than 0, and another connective, it is windy. So there are, in the antecedent part there are three facts, three assertions. Season is winter, temperature is less than 0, and it is windy, then the weather is cold. In this way rules are specified. Now actual representation will be little bit different. Computer will not understand this. So computer understands language of zeros and ones. So in foundation course, mathematical foundation course, we have seen how to represent this in computer understandable form. Yes, anybody? If yes, tell me how this can be represented in the form which computer will understand. First tell me what is that form. No, natural language system will not understand. So you will have to convert that in the form of 01 language. So how this can be done? You can use predicate logic for this. Predicate logic is what? Predicate is 01 representation. So now tell me how predicate logic can be used to represent this rule or antecedent part.
Season of winter.
Just a
First
minute.
statement.
First statement, if
Season
season,
in bracket winter.
okay, season bracket winter,
Winter.
correct. Then
And
and less than predicate you have to define LT less than, right?
yes, temperature
Temperature
and
comma 0,
zero.
right? Then and
Yes.
simple preposition windy. Either it will be true or false. So windy, it is windy, so
Implies
it will be true. That will imply
weather of cold.
weather. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
So this will be the actual representation, but instead of this implication out there, it will be then. But in predicate logic, you will be defining that as implication. Okay, either this or this. So leave this part because this is how system will understand. Right now we are interested in defining the rules. Okay. So this is the first rule. Second rule, if season is winter, or temperature is less than 0, or so two connectives we have used to connect these facts, then it is cold. Third rule, third example, if the season is winter and temperature is less than 0 or weather is windy, here we have incorporated and as well as or, then it is cold. So this is how the rules are represented in rule based system. So rule will have antecedent part and consequent part, that is if part or premises and action that will be performed if that antecedents are satisfied. Okay. Now this process you will find out matching of those rules is related with a concept called as conflict resolution. Because you will find out, let us go back. In this rule, in antecedent part, some of the facts are same. For example, if season is winter, if season is winter, all these three rules, they have the same fact in their antecedent part. Similarly, in 1 and 2 example, here the temperature is less than 0. Here also the temperature is less than 0. This is also same. Only the connective is or. Here connective is and. Okay. So you will find out that in many of the rules, in the antecedent part, there are many facts which may be same. So therefore, there might be more than one rule which can be satisfied in a given situation. So that is related with conflict resolution. So therefore it is important to a way or order in which rules are firing. So order of firing those rules is important. So if you change the order, there might be a case that different actions will be performed. So there are different strategies, control strategies, which can be used for that purpose. First strategy can be you select the first applicable rule. For example, suppose here I have set of rules, rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 9 in this way. There might be a case that antecedent part of this rule 2, for example, if P and Q, and antecedent part of rule 9, if P and Q is same. So one of the strategies you select the first applicable rule. So if you start from top in this way, so first you are going to check R1 whether there is a match for R1, then R2, yes. So current situation is P is true. So therefore this R2 is matched. So therefore R2 will be selected. So if rule they are in specific order, firing the first applicable one is the easiest way to control the order in which rules will be fired. So here in this case you are going to select rule R2 because currently P is true and you found that P is true in this rule R2. So this is one of the strategy. Second strategy can be least recently used. So for that purpose you must know when that rule has been used previously. So therefore timestamp has to be attached with the rules. So each rule will have time or step stamp and that will help you when that rule was used. So whenever you are going to select a rule, suppose R2 will have timestamp 12:05 and R9 has timestamp 1924 hour clock we are considering 1913. So what this strategy tells you that use least recently used. Now if suppose P is true right now, then system will perform matching. It will start with R1 then R2. Then it will check its timestamp which is 12:05. It will go on performing matching. Then it will find that R9 also in R9 P and Q is true. Okay. Therefore, now there are two options. Either R2 or R9 has to be selected. So if this second strategy is used, then system will select R9. Okay. Because again that depends upon your current time. Suppose current time is your 3:20. So therefore uh, system will find out the difference between the two times and it will select the rule which is least recently used. So which one is least recently used? First rule was used at 12:05 and second rule was used at 1913. So which one will be selected? Current time is 3:20 and R2 has been used previously, fired previously at 12:05 and R9 has been fired at 1913. So which one will be selected? These are previous times. Huh? So which one is least
R2,
recently used? Huh? Pardon?
R2, R2,
R2, right? R2 will be selected because recently selected rule was R9 whose timestamp is 1930. Okay. And current time is 3:20. So this R9 was recently selected. So therefore R2 will be selected. So this is strategy called as least recently used. So this is another way you can select the rules. If all rules are needed for solution of a given problem, this is a perfect strategy. Third option that we have is select the best one. Out here, each rule is given a weight. So that will be a number. You will have to use some features, parameters, which you will have to convert in the form of weight, that will tell you how much it should be considered over other alternatives. The rule with most preferable outcome is chosen on this particular weight. For example, the weight assigned to R2 is suppose 13, W is equal to 13, and weight assigned to R9, W is equal to 21. So in that particular case, now if this third strategy is used, we are not using timestamp here, then weight will be used. So if weight is higher, then that rule will be selected. So here R9 weight is 21. So R9 will be selected if this strategy third is used. So these are conflict resolution strategies. Basically, there might be more than one option that is available with you in a current situation. So how to resolve this conflict, how to decide on which rule will be selected, that is called as conflict resolution strategy. Like the result of now this you are going to use in matching process. What is matching process? We have set of rules in the knowledge base. In current situation, we have the facts which are true. Then you are going to match those facts which are true, that means assertions which are true right now, in the rule base antecedent part of all the rules. So during this process, there may be more than one rule where antecedent part will match. Then how you are going to select a particular rule? By using this conflict resolution strategy. So basically the result of matching process will be list of many rules whose antecedent parts have. So conflict resolution will tell you which one has to be selected. So these are the three strategies. Okay. In different books you will find out same strategies have been defined in different ways. Like in Rich and Knight book you will find out the strategies are defined in this way. Assign a preference based on the rule that match. That means first rule, that is match. That means first applicable rule. Same as that of we have specified out here. Second strategy defined out there is assign preference based on object that are match. And third strategy is assign a preference based on action that the match rule would perform. So what action it is performing. So that means that is very similar to the weighting mechanism. That means best rule. So although the names are different, but the strategies are similar. So this is what conflict resolution is. Understood? Any question on this?
No, sir.
So if there is no question, then we will move further. Now what are the advantages of this rule-based systems? You will find out this rule-based systems will allow to replicate their very best people. Expert systems carry intelligence and information found in intellect of experts, which will provide this knowledge to other members of the organization. So basically uh, this rule based systems or expert systems will be able to identify the knowledge of experts This will reduce the errors, which will automate the repetitive and critical tasks. As I told you, in actual systems, there are thousands of rules. So 90% of your system's time that is consumed in matching process. So because of the mechanism, appropriate matching mechanism, that will reduce the errors, which will ultimately reduce the manpower and time required for testing and data analysis. It reduces the cost, eliminate the work, that people would rather not to do. They perform better than human in many situations, specifically expert systems. Why they perform better than human experts? There is a reason, because while developing expert system or rule-based system, we consult many experts in that particular domain, and accordingly we develop the knowledge base. Therefore, the system performs better than individual expert. Rule-based system perform knowledge acquisition, process analysis, data analysis, as well as system verification. So all these are uh, some of the applications of this rule-based systems are expert systems. They increase the visibility into the state of managed system. So coverage, visibility is related with the coverage. They develop the functional system requirements, coordinate the software development. Nowadays, you will find out there are expert systems which are used for coordinating software development process. For simple domains, you will find out this rule base might be simple, as well as which can be easily verifiable and you can validate it. There are expert system cells which can be readily used for your application, that you can use directly. So you can reduce the coding. Without programming, you can also build the systems. Expert system shells are there. Just like you can develop a website, simple website, by using certain products. For example, the product of Google. Similarly, here also we have expert system shells. Directly they can be used. They provide consistent answer for repetitive decisions, unlike human experts. You will find out, for example, in medical diagnosis, sometimes if you consult a doctor, then that first doctor, then the diagnosis is suppose some A, then sometimes you take a second opinion, then it is possible that that second expert that diagnose B, disease B, or the action is B, which is different. For same antecedent, we have two different actions, but that is not the case. This will not happen with expert systems, rule-based systems. So they will provide consistent answers. Then they hold and maintain significant levels of information. Rule-based system reduces creating entry barriers to the competitors. So there are many, this list can be extended. You can add so many again advantages of these expert systems and application areas as well as domains. But right now we are not interested, very much interested in actual implementation of these expert systems. We are more interested in uh, domain specific matching process. There is other side also. Some of the problems with rule based system. First is the expert knowledge is not easily codified. That means the knowledge collected from the experts, sometimes you will find out uh, you may not be able to put it in the form of your code. So it's a job of actually knowledge engineer to do this particular task. But sometimes for knowledge engineer also it is difficult to convert whatever expert has told into the form of which computer will understand. Experts often lack access to their own analysis and mechanisms. So analysis is difficult because most of the results they are qualitative in nature rather than quantitative. Third, validation and verification of large system is difficult. Whatever output your expert system have given, systems they have given, very difficult to verify it. Fourth, when the number of rules are large, the effect of adding new rule can be difficult. Fifth, there is a lack of human common sense. Sometimes this common sense is required, but in rule based system, as I told you, that in similar situation always you will get the same answer. So that is advantageous, but sometimes that can go in other way also. Sixth, the creative responses from human experts can respond in unusual circumstances. So that is the capability of human, and same thing cannot be replicated by automated system. Creative responses. Seventh, domain experts are not always being able to explain their logic and reasoning, and which is the requirement while developing a rule based system. Explanation facility, which is an inherent part of any rule based system. So it is difficult to incorporate. There is a lack of flexibility and ability to adapt changing environment, as the questions are standard and cannot be changed. So expert systems or rule based systems, they are not very flexible. They adopt the changing environment, but the ability is not as that of human beings. Expert system is not able to recognize when no answer is available. If there is no answer still, human experts, they give some answer in a given situation, but expert system you will find out will not give you the reply in that particular situation. Okay. So this is not very important advantages and disadvantages because we are mainly interested in matching process. The reference that you can use for this rule based expert system is you can use this Grosson and Abraham 2011 uh, paper, research paper in intelligent systems, volume 17, Springer Journal. Okay, or in Rich and Knight also you will find out there is a chapter on representing knowledge using rules. That also you can go through, Rich and Knight. But most of the part I have taken from this paper. Rich and Knight, this chapter number, I don't remember exactly, but I think 6 or 7, or maybe 6, chapter 6, which is on knowledge representation using rules. So these two references you can use for understanding what are rule-based systems. So what is important from our point of view right now is we should know what are rule-based systems, what is the importance of knowledge, types of knowledge, procedural and declarative. We are more interested in out here procedural knowledge because which has control, which tells you which rule has to be used when, and then how these rules are represented. Okay, so this much is expected from you from this particular topic. Okay, any question up to this?
No, sir.
So actually we will have to understand the matching process, which we will discuss now in our next part of our lecture. So before that we will take a break of 5 minutes and then we will discuss that algorithm which is used for matching. Very good algorithm, successfully used in many expert systems. So we'll meet after 5 minutes.